I'm Kranky Crumpet and I'm here with Ebz-Ecutioner again, and today she's here to show me how to look after my cushions in my skates and to explain why we might need to change them. So we're going to change the cushions on the basic Rydell skate.
Sure. So cushions are these little things here. They're also known as bushings. So if you hear people referring to them as bushings or cushions, they're talking about the same thing. It's these rubber items in here which help when you tilt your skate one way or another. It can
help it move a bit better.
Yes, they help with movement when you're tilting your skate left and right if you have to turn. The harder they are, the more explosiveness you can get when you push against the wheels. And if they're soft, then they have more agility or ability to turn when you're carving or weaving and things like that. So why do we want to change these ones?
These ones are a bit old and probably need to be renewed. I think he wants to go to a bit of a softer cushion for this skate.
Okay.
So sometimes they might crack too. If you've got older skates, they have been known to sometimes rubber cracks like rubber does.
So bushings and cushions over time, they become compressed. When you first buy them, they're nice and thick, kind of look like this. And then over time they become compressed, and if they go too far, then they can sometimes crack. This can also happen with age, so if you've got really old ones, even if they haven't been used as much and compressed, then they can still crack. So
what are you taking out there?
Oh right, I should have explained that. So what I've done is I've undone the bolt on the end of the kingpin. On top of that there is a washer, and then we take out the cushion here. Underneath that you've actually got trucks, and then another cushion. That one's a little bit tight, and then another washer. So this is how it looks dismantled. It's good to have a look at how they were put together in the first place, so you remember how to put it back, or just leave one set up so you can copy it at the end. So these ones just might need a bit of a wipe down on the kingpin here. Might put a little bit of oil on that as well when we put it back together. So if we have hard bushings, we know that we have more explosiveness when we're pushing or trying to go fast from laterally, like left to right. And if we have squishy cushions or softer cushions, they help us weave and maneuver a little bit more smoothly. They also feel very nice and comfortable, like bouncy. Yep. So what we might do in this one is put a harder cushion close to the foot so that you can get a good amount of explosiveness, and then we'll put a softer one on the end so you still have that squishiness for when you're turning. It'll feel more comfortable underfoot. So what have we got here? I think these ones are...
They're the soft ones and these are the harder ones.
Sure.
So
these ones I think are about a 90, 94, 95, and then these ones are about,
I think they're about
an 80 or something like that. Might talk about that a little bit later. So put in the harder one closer to the foot, but we need the washer. These are going into nylon, so we don't really need any oil there. And then we've got the chuck that needs to go in. So when you put the chuck in, you have to make sure that this part here goes into the pivot cup, and also onto the kingpin. Then we have a softer cushion and another washer, and I might just screw that in there, and we tighten it up.
It's just that easy.
It only takes a couple of minutes, but once you have tightened it up, you'll need to have a skate around, see how it feels. If it feels like it is too wibbly wobbly when you're turning left and right this way, you might like to tighten that up a little bit more. If it's feeling too tight and you're not getting any manoeuvrability left and right, loosen this trucks as we've shown in another video. Yeah, that's going to be really turny. Simple as that.
So not all skates have these kind of cushions. So this is the Arias plate, and so as we mentioned actually in an earlier video when we were loosening the trucks, is that these are all done so you don't loosen the trucks on these. They have a thing called these butterfly cushions. And so when you buy the skate, you get a pack of all different hardnesses, and they're a little bit more difficult to get in because there's no washers. You're not having to take it all out with your Allen key, pop in your desired one, and then try and manoeuvre it back in. So I had a little bit of trouble because it was a little bit stiff when I first got them because they were new getting it back in, but I haven't had to change these in a while. So I've got a harder one in the back and a looser one in the front.
So the softer one at the front is to help with your steering?
Yes, and because I'm a lighter skater, I don't like the harder ones because it's too hard for me to push off. I haven't got enough power. So that's how I went, and they're slowly degrading. I probably need to change them soon, but I've got a heap here. So I think the red and the greens, you can tell by how squishy they are, which ones are harder, and that's how they move the skate really.
So you mentioned to me earlier that you've got a harder one on the back and a softer one on the front. Is that so that when you're doing like crossovers you can push on the heel?
I think so. I just kind of liked it better.
Yeah.
I think of it like a car. I don't like to fishtail out the back.
I think that's what it comes down to with most things. Trial and error. Talking to other skaters who might have a similar skating style or body type to you.
Yep.
To find the perfect matchup.
And it goes off weight sometimes too. If you're a smaller skater, you might need the softer ones, although you might like harder ones. But yeah, so that's a different kind of skate, but most newbies will have the right heel.
Okay, so earlier with this pair of skates, I changed the cushions on the front trucks. When I took out the back ones, I thought it would be worth talking a little bit about the pivot cup, which is this rubbery thing inside where the trucks are inserted later on. So I've just got an Allen key here. If I just pop that out, you can see that inside that hole there's this cup. It's called a pivot cup. Now when I first started skating, I didn't know this actually existed, and mine cracked and it caused problems later on. So whenever you're changing your wheels around and things like that, it's well worth checking your pivot cup out and just seeing how it's looking. This one looks pretty good. So I'm just going to stick it back in. So we've got our softer cushion, and the pivot of the truck goes into the pivot cup. And then we've got another cushion, washer, and our bolt. So as you learn more about your skates, you'll discover small things. That rubbery bit underneath where the pivot goes from the truck is called a pivot cup.
Thanks, Ebz, for coming around and showing me how to upgrade the cushions in my skates.
That was cool. It was fun. I like doing things like this.
It's good. It's always good to keep your skates in tip-top shape. We have heaps of other skate maintenance videos on our channel if you want to check them out. And as usual, if you want to know anything else, put it in the comments. And if you want to join Wollongong Illawarra Roller Derby on Tuesday or Friday nights at the UOW Sports Hub, you can find us on Court 3 from 6:30.
Ages 7 to 107.
Awesome, so we hope to see all you 100-year-olds there.